Lesson 1. Exam Structure and Reading Strategies. Welcome to your NSSCO Afrikaans Second Language course. Today, we will explore the format of the exam and key strategies for tackling the reading tasks. Paper 1 tests your reading skills across different text lengths. For Paper 1 Task 1, you will read a text of 450 to 550 words. Your answers here should usually be short, just a one-word or short phrase response. A major risk in this section is lifting an entire long sentence when a short phrase is enough. This can bury the precise required detail and cost you marks. Moving to Task 2, which involves multiple matching questions, your best approach is to match each item to the section that best fits by carefully scanning headings and details. For Task 3, which is note-making based on a 400 to 500 word text, you need to select brief, relevant notes under provided headings. Sometimes an Afrikaans paragraph might suddenly become confusing. The best reading strategy here is to reread the difficult part and use context clues around unknown words. It is also important to pay attention to details like specific dates and times. For example, if a brochure states a museum opens daily except Mondays from 09 to 1700, you know it is open if you arrive at 10 a.m. on a Tuesday. Remember that you will also need to summarize texts in your own words, which means briefly restating key points without wholesale lifting. By mastering these task formats and scanning techniques, you will build a strong foundation for your exam. Lesson 2. Deep Comprehension, Inference, Tone, and Purpose. In this lesson, we will focus on reading between the lines. The NIED reading objectives require learners to understand what is implied but not explicitly written. When an instruction asks you to infer or lay af, you must work out an unstated meaning using evidence in the text. For example, if a camping pamphlet advertises to silence seekers and bans loud music after 2100, you can reasonably infer that quiet evening behavior is expected. You will also need to analyze the writer's attitude, or houding, toward the topic. An author might describe a town as sun-bleached and stubbornly cheerful, showing an affectionate and vivid tone through concrete sensory details. Sometimes an attitude shifts. A writer might be initially doubtful, but become positive later on. Identifying the author's purpose is just as crucial. If a writer praises a new road, but then lists displaced families, their overall purpose is to present both the benefits and the human costs. Similarly, functional texts have clear purposes, such as an imperative warning not to smoke, which serves as a prohibition. A careful reader must also evaluate texts critically. If an article about a sports team only uses praise and ignores losses, you should notice the one-sided selection of evidence and bias. If someone claims all teenagers hate a language based on 5 friends, recognize that the sample is too small and biased for such a sweeping claim. You must separate correlation from causation, knowing that other factors might explain changes. Finally, watch for literary devices like irony, which is a contrast between expectation and reality, or metaphors that equate two things directly. Lesson 3. Writing Fundamentals for Paper 1. Let us turn our attention to the writing tasks in Paper 1. Task 5 is a guided writing exercise that expects approximately 100 to 150 words of continuous prose, which could be a letter, email, report, or article. Task 5 often provides 3 bullet points. Your safest strategy is to cover each bullet with relevant information to ensure you fulfill the task requirements. If you write a formal letter in Afrikaans, such as to a school principal, the most appropriate opening is geacht meneer or mevrou. You should use formal closings like DUV or met vriendelijke soete. If the task asks for an article for a school magazine, your main goal is to inform or engage a teenage school audience on a clear topic. Task 6 is extended writing, which expects approximately 200 to 250 words. This could be a narrative, descriptive, or argumentative essay. If the topic is your most unforgettable day, a narrative recount with clear, sequenced events is most suitable.
For descriptive writing, like describing a desert scene, your strongest choice is to use precise sensory details, such as sight, sound, heat, and texture. If you choose an argumentative essay, you must strengthen it with a clear standpoint supported by reasons and examples. Regardless of the text type, paragraph structure is critical. In Afrikaans writing, you should usually start a new paragraph when you change your idea, time, place, or speaker focus. This improves coherence. By knowing the required word counts, formats, and structural rules, you will be well prepared to tackle both guided and extended writing on your exam.
Thanks for watching. For free practice questions, study guides, and flashcards, visit exampreprise.com. Good luck on your exam!